Monica Crowley has an amazing radio show. She's done television as well, and she's also a writer. She's written a new book, and it really is. I mean, if you're going out to get cowards, grab this one as well. What the bleep just happened? And it's the Warriors Guide, the Happy Warriors Guide to a Great American Comeback. Monica, how are you?
Hi, Glenn. Great to be here. Thank you, and congratulations on your book.
Thank you. Tell me about the point of your book. I mean, it reads like a real easy conversation. Tell me about the main message of the book.
Well, there are two main messages, Glenn. The first one is I was thinking about how this administration has subjected this country to a new and astonishing piece of leftist madness just about every day over the last 3.5 years. And we spend a lot of time talking about how he is redistributing the wealth. And while that's true, I thought, there's something bigger going on here than just the redistribution of wealth. And as I thought about it, and I thought about his entire domestic policy record, as well as his entire foreign policy record, and I put it all together in one place, and when you see it in one place in this book, the evidence is absolutely devastating to him. But when you take a step back and you look at the forest for the trees, Glenn, what you see is that he is not simply redistributing America's wealth here at home. If he were just limited to doing that, we could replace him, repudiate his leftist agenda in November, and begin to heal the country. But what he has done over the last 3.5 years has been so much bigger than that. And by that, Glenn, I mean that he is redistributing everything that has made America great. So yes, our wealth, our economic energy, our political strength, our military power, our cultural appeal, our borders, check out just what he did last week on the illegal immigration move, and our very exceptionalism. So the end result has been that by redistributing everything that has made America great, he's actually diluting our very exceptionalism, and that's the bigger scheme that he has undertaken.
Do you think the people are waking up to this, Monica?
I do, Glenn. I do, and that's why I'm very optimistic in the book, which is what I wanted to do. And the subtitle is The Happy Warrior's Guide. You absolutely embody the Happy Warrior, Glenn. And I kind of had you in mind when I had the concept here. Because, look, every single time the American people have gone to the polls since this man has been elected, since November of 2008, every subsequent election, the Great Silent Majority 2.0, as I call it in the book, has stood up to repudiate the radical agenda. So in 2009, you had Republicans elected in New Jersey and Virginia. 2010, Massachusetts Senate seat goes to a Republican. Ted Kennedy's Senate seat, for crying out loud. 2010, congressional elections, Republicans have a near sweep. 2012, Wisconsin, Republican Governor Scott Walker holds on to his office by 7 points. I think the American people, Glenn, have had enough. I think they're on to what Obama has done, and I think now the time is ripe for every American. I mean, this book is not just for conservatives or Republicans or independents. It's for every American to embody that happy warrior spirit and say, you know what? Not only can America be saved, but she is worth saving.
You know, here's the thing. I don't think the conservatives, I mean, unless your friends are stupid, conservatives have gotten it for a long time, but we haven't been able to make the case for one reason or another. And that's what we've tried to do with cowards, and you're doing here in a different way. I mean, you just take page 91. 91 of Monica's book it talks about the stimulus and all of the crazy things that are happening in stimulus. Let me just give you a little bit of it. $1.2 million have studied the mating habits of the woodchuck. $3.1 million to convert a ferry boat into a restaurant. $1 million to preserve a sewer in New Jersey as a historic monument. When your friends read the facts of what happened and you lay them all out in the last 3.5 years, that's when your friends, doesn't matter if they're left or right or conservative or liberal, that's when your friends look at that and say, okay, you know what, I don't like George Bush, and George Bush did a lot of bad things, but this is insane. This is insane.
Absolutely insane, Glenn. And in fact, you left off my favorite one, which tops the list in the book, $200,000 for gang tattoo removal in Los Angeles. So, Glenn, I think you need to work a little harder because you're paying for the Crips and the Bloods to have their tattoos removed from their biceps. I mean, look, our government has been out of control for a long time, and I hit the Republicans in this book, too, because for decades, the Republicans have gone down that road of big government, big spending. And when we talk about the Tea Party, and I know I'm going to be on GBTV next week when we're talking about the Tea Party and the importance of it, The rise of the Tea Party, a lot of people assume now or just believe that the Tea Party arose as a reaction to all of this leftist insanity coming from Barack Obama, the spending, the stimulus, socialized medicine. Actually, the Tea Party arose as a reaction to the fact that the Republican Party lost its way, lost its moorings on limited government and fiscal responsibility.
Yep.
If the Republicans had stuck to their guns all along and stuck to their beliefs about what America was really all about from the beginning, there would be no need for a Tea Party.
Yep, they have no idea, and that's the thing that I'm still out on, because a lot of Republicans were asleep under George W. Bush, and Obama woke them up. But that's why when I gave that speech at CPAC a couple of years ago, the Republicans hated my guts. And, I mean, the power establishment hate my guts on the Republican side, because the Progressive Party is a disease in both parties. Progressivism is in both parties. And I woke up, not with Barack Obama, I was waking up under George W. Bush. I'm watching the border mess, I'm watching the spending and everything else, and I'm like, what are we doing? Wait a minute, these aren't my values. What are we doing here?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, you know what, Glenn, when you look at every major problem we have in America, from the debt to public education and the crisis in the inner cities, every single major problem we've got here can be traced back to progressivism, liberalism, socialism, Marxism, whatever you want to call it. And actually, the label doesn't even matter. What matters is the content of the policies and the consequences. And when you look at Western Europe and you see the collapse going on there after decades of socialism, and you see what's happening in this country under the guidance of what I call the kooks, and Obama is the big kakuna, as I call him in the book. This is not your father's or grandfather's Democrat Party. This party was taken over by the kooks in 1968. They've run it into the ground. They've taken a lot of Republicans with them, and that's where we've gotten to the point, Glenn, where we've got $16 trillion in debt. I mean, what the bleep?
What the bleep? What the bleep just happened is the name of the book by Monica Crowley. Monica, thanks for being on with us, and best of luck. We'll talk to you next week.
A pleasure. Thank you,
right.
Glenn.
Bye-bye. She's really a smart woman and deeply conservative and committed to the cause, no matter the expense. If you're going out and you're looking for a book to share with a friend, I recommend Cowards. But a great companion piece. We've got to support these authors, and we have to support this message and get it out as many ways as we possibly can. There's so many different writers out there that are telling kind of the same story, just different pieces of it. And we've got to give them to our friends. It's not just for us. We've got to get them to our friends and our family who you think you might be able to convince. What the Bleep, available in bookstores everywhere.